Let's proceed. Harvey United. First of all, the first thing that we have to do is we have to come together as a community, which is the reason for these events. We have to come together as a community. The thing that many people talk about is basically streets, lights, curbs, sidewalks, garbage, water, taxes. Those are some of the things they talk about. Then you go into other issues as far as police protection and fire protection. And then some people say, well, you can't get anything done because city council isn't run right, and it's a circus. Okay. I'm not going to disagree with any of those statements. But I do think that I can help to glean into why some of those things are the way they are. When I was coming up, there was a statement that if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. And I think that that's one of our first issues in the city of Harvey, is that failure to plan. Oh, and I forgot to mention also jobs, because people want to know about jobs. Why don't we have a grocery store? And all these wonderful things. Whenever you decide that you want to do something, whether it's a savings plan, or a Christmas plan, or a vacation plan, they all have that same common denominator, a plan. Well, here in the city of Harvey, we need plans. But
This side.
this one, let me go across.
Oh, boy.
We need plans. Okay. But let me ask you this question before I start. Everybody see here, stationary thing. If you came to me and I told you I was having an issue, say I wanted to build a house, okay, and I was having an issue with building my house, and so you said, tell you what, Chris, I am going to show you how to build the biggest and most beautiful house that you've ever seen in your entire life. Is this what you want? And I say, yes. And you take the time, and it takes you, say for instance, 2 years to show me how to build that house. You do all of this for free, okay? No cost to me. You give me all the necessary tools to do so. And then I don't build the house. Then I come back over to your house and I knock on the door. And I say, hey, can I stay with you? First thing you're gonna say, well, maybe one of the first things you're gonna say, other than no, is that, but I told you how to build the house. I showed you how to build the house. I gave you all of the tools necessary to build the house. You just didn't do it. So at that point in time, our conversations are over, because there's no reason for you to continue to offer me the thing that you took all of your hard-earned time to do if I wasn't going to do it in the first place. Has anybody ever experienced any type of situation like that, whether he was giving a girlfriend advice or whether he was giving a good buddy of yours advice and they just didn't listen? But they wanted to complain to you about how life for them wasn't no crystal stair and how they just couldn't make it happen when you knew you gave them the answer. That's the Harvey Station area plan. In 2005, a place called the Center for Neighborhood Technology came to the city of Harvey and did a case study of the city of Harvey to cover what some of the ills were in the city and how we could begin to rehabilitate and renovate our community. Now, you can look it up, and I'll have a part of my, some of the next presentations will go a little bit deeper into the Center for Neighborhood Technology. But if you Google the Center for Neighborhood Technology, you will see they are a well-established, well-functioning, okay, organization that does work all throughout the nation as far as dealing with urban redevelopment and development of communities, whether it's from dealing with rail and water, whether it's dealing with economic development specifically and jobs, doesn't matter. They cover just about everything when it comes to dealing with community development and community redevelopment. There were a few people that participated in that study. One of those persons actually is right here in the room. She's right there, Mrs. Ruby Donahue. Okay. In addition to that, a few other names that may or may not ring a bell, but Dr. John Bradley participated in this case study. Herman Hand, who is now deceased, participated in the case study. Lena Thomas was there too. Yep, she was there. She participated in this case study. Yes, Miss Randall. Miss Randall is in the back. She participated in the case study. And these things were held at City Hall. These community meetings were held at City Hall. Now, part of it was that the Center for Urban Technologies wanted to make sure that the community was involved in its own redevelopment. So it made sure that it got a group of community members together. Then, of course, there were the people who were the experts who knew things as far as the design and layout and how this is all supposed to be done. So this study was done. The document itself, I think, is approximately 75 to 80 pages long. And there was a stationary plan, and there was also what they call transit-oriented development, and there was also an industrial plan as well, how we can deal with our industry and bring back industrial jobs to the city. So that was 2005. We started, I'm going to say this current administration started its run in 2003. So 2 years after that administration started, we went into this plan. It's been sitting on ice for 13 years. So what we're going to do over the next few meetings is we're going to start to delve into this and start to talk about a little bit of what it is about. So, excuse me. The key part of this is the city of Harvey has not adopted a comprehensive plan to officially guide planning, zoning, public investment, and redevelopment decisions since 1968. The city of Harvey has not adopted a comprehensive plan to officially guide planning, zoning, public investment, and redevelopment decisions since 1968. I was born June 23rd, 1969. So for the entire time that I have been on this earth, the city of Harvey has not adopted a comprehensive plan to officially guide, and make sure wording is important, okay? One, the city of Harvey has not adopted the plan. It's one, okay? What is the plan there? To officially guide planning, zoning, public investment, and redevelopment decisions. So when someone tells you, because I know that you're going to hear it, because for some odd reason, when you make statements like that, there's always some pushback, and it's somebody else's fault. So when you start to hear the pushback, so that you can fully understand exactly what it's saying, since 1968. So what is a comprehensive plan? A comprehensive plan basically is a guide that basically helps you to know how you're going to make decisions in regarding to your planning, your zoning, your public investment, and your redevelopment. And we have not officially adopted one since 1968. I keep saying that because I started this off with the saying of, when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Now, in the next few presentations, I'll give you some examples of comprehensive plans. But just so you understand, South Holland has a comprehensive plan. Calumet City has a comprehensive plan. Crestwood has a comprehensive plan. Orland Park has a comprehensive plan. Tinley Park has a comprehensive plan. Markham has a comprehensive plan. Robbins has a comprehensive plan. Posey has a comprehensive plan. Midlothian has a comprehensive plan. Alsip has a comprehensive plan. okay? Of course, Chicago has a comprehensive plan. So these are not uncommon hocus pocus things that are supposed to happen within cities. These are things that municipalities normally routinely adopt every 20 to 30 years. Actually, South Holland is working on its next comprehensive plan because its old comprehensive plan already expired. Now, some of you are greater than I am, and some of you may be able to remember when Crestwood used to be an onion field. When Crestwood was an onion field and they started the development there, they started a 30-year comprehensive plan. And then when that plan expired, prior to its expiration, they adopted a new one. Okay, does everybody get that? So they didn't let it expire and then decide, oh, now we're going to do a new comprehensive plan. No, approximately 5 years before the one that they had in force would expire, they would start the work because comprehensive plans take work. So we haven't had one since 1968. Yes.
Can you tell what adopt actually mean? Can you make a comprehensive plan without actually adopting it by the city?
Well, I've got a comprehensive plan in my mind, and I'm pretty sure other people in this audience and other people in the city may have comprehensive plans. But when the city adopts, that's the city council taking a review, having a public meeting or public hearing as normal, going over some of the details of the plan, answering questions, and then the city council takes action to actually vote to adopt this particular plan and put it in, and it becomes basically a legal document for the city that guides the city. So I'm a business owner, and when I started my business, I had a business plan. Most businesses have a business plan that as a part of what they do. This becomes basically that plan for the city, and it becomes that legal document, okay, that tells how we're supposed to guide. So, the things that you can do in there, and just to give you just as a side note, the things that you can do is you can say, well, you know what, if we don't want strip clubs going all up and down Halsted, because we want to redevelop that and make those family-friendly businesses, and it's difficult to have family-friendly businesses next to strip clubs. I'm just going to be honest. When it comes to that, what happens is the comprehensive plan says, okay, we're going to rezone this particular area here, okay, where going forward, henceforth and forevermore, there are no more strip clubs on Halsted. So then if the one on Halsted decides to move, shut down, or do whatever, in the future, no one else can rebuild. No one else can say, well, I'm going to take the old strip club and turn it into a new strip club. No. That'll be the end of strip clubs for Halsted. Okay, just to give you an example. If you say, you know what, we want to have it where we only have so many gas stations. But we have, I think, 14 gas stations in 6.2 square miles. If we only wanted so many gas stations, we could say, we only want so many, and we could legislate that and put it into our comprehensive plan. So say if the number was only 7. So then at 7's it. So when 8 comes along and says, I want to open up a gas station too, we can say, oh, well, you know what? We really would appreciate your business. However, we have a legal document called a comprehensive plan that says we can only have 7. Now, how does that help you overall when you can do that? Because then you save money. Because a lot of times when those denials happen, they turn into lawsuits. And lawsuits cost money, which is actually taxpayer dollars. But when you have a comprehensive plan, and that plan says that we only have 7, and that's all that we can have because that's all that we adopted by the city council, and now it is a legal document, then you can go to court and you can say, well, Your Honor, yeah, he did come to us, and we did listen to him, and we thought it was a great idea. But our comprehensive plan says we can only allow 7. So we had to abide by our comprehensive plan. then the gas station owner can't say, well, you were being what's called arbitrary and capricious. You were just being mean to him because you didn't like him. You didn't like him because he was of a different nationality. You didn't like him because he looked a certain way. All of that lawsuit stuff is basically out the window. So because we don't have to spend our time in lawsuits, that's money that can be used towards actually getting those streets, lights, curbs, sidewalks, those things that we need.
Say, excuse me.
Yes.
Will that plan have anything to do with all the abandoned buildings?
Yes, actually.
You know, I moved out in 1956, and I see some buildings that's been abandoned since 1956.
Well,
It's a single site going up and down the street, all them ragged buildings that's been there. Nobody takes care of the yard, the building needs to be torn out.
and so that requires a plan.
Okay.
And it doesn't require a plan after you get 1,000 abandoned buildings.
We got more.
When you, I know, okay. But when you first saw the trend, when you first saw that there was an issue going on, that was the time for you to say, wait a minute, that's really unusual. That house has been sitting there for over 2 years and no one's in it. Okay, and then you drive around and you go, oh, wait a minute, that house has been sitting there for 3 years and nobody's in it? At that point in time, you're supposed to notice as a leader that something's going on and that you need to start figuring out what type of plan you need to put together to deal with that issue. Now, the plan that you're talking about actually is another part of the presentation, but I'll give you a little taste of it. It involves the South Suburban Land Bank. It involves the Cook County Land Bank. It also involves neighborhood transformation, and it also involves the Cook County Sheriff's Office. That's another part of my plan, and if you have copies of my action plan, you will see where it talks a little bit about us working with the South Suburban Land Bank and Cook County to do just that. Once again, and just to touch on that, and thank you. Posen does it. Dixmoor does it. Markham does it.
What about Phoenix?
I don't know if Phoenix does it or not. I'm not 100% sure.
That's where I'm from.
Okay. South House does it. But based on the mayor in Phoenix,
Right.
I could just pretty much surmise that they do.
Do you know Phoenix do not have one abandoned building?
Because they have good relationships with other organizations and other governmental entities to get those things done.
Right.
And this is why the relationships are important, and I'm gonna go back to that. The relationships are important because you pay taxes. You don't just pay taxes to the city of Harvey, excuse me, you pay taxes to the county,
Right.
to the township, to the state, and to the federal government, to the parks, and to the libraries, and to the schools, and to the water reclamation. And then every year you get a little white card because you got to pay $3 to Calumet Drainage.
Right.
You pay all of this money, and those are just a few of them. I'm not done. Y'all know I'm not done because y'all read the tax bills. You pay those taxes. So you should be able to get something back from those agencies to whom you pay taxes. Just like you should get something back from the city of Harvey for what you pay the city of Harvey, you should also get things back from the county and from the state and from the federal government.
I got one more question that's on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we pay our water bill, we pay for garbage for the whole month.
Yes.
What about the weeks that they don't pick up the garbage? What happens to the money?
Personally, I believe it should be refunded.
I do too.
Okay.
So I pay for
I believe
garbage
if
the
you
whole
don't
month.
get what you paid for, it should be refunded.
That's right.
But, so what happens is, but when you're paying all of this, you should be able to get something back for what you've paid. So if there is a service out there through the county that helps with abandoned houses and the demolition and maintaining the abandoned house, you should take advantage of it because you've already paid for it. Okay? If you don't use it, somebody else is going to use it, and you will just pay for something that somebody else is using. Okay? If there's every year when these organizations create their budgets, they create their budgets and they say we're going to spend X amount of dollars. Now, either you're going to line up to get some, or you're not. We're still going to spend X amount of dollars, and at the end of the day, if you're not in line to get any, well, sorry. Because at the end of the day, the money's going to be gone. Now, we usually come on December 31st. Then we go, yeah, can we get some money? All the money's gone now. Because we got there at the 11th hour in 59 minutes and the 59th second. We have to stay in front of things. And in order to stay in front of things, that means it requires planning. So, back to this. So the city recognizes, this was in the document, this is what this screenshot is, this is actually a copy from the actual plan. But this is not something that I typed up. And these words are not my words. The city recognizes the need to undertake actions to stabilize and revitalize its downtown, along with other commercial areas and residential neighborhoods. So they recognize that. To this end, it has established the following strategic plan goals that will enhance TOD and COD efforts. But this was in 2005. So, in 2005, they said they were going to attract about 12 to 15 new businesses a month. 12 to 15 new businesses a month. Now, there's nothing wrong if, honestly, and I gotta be fair, there's nothing wrong if that did not happen, if you had some benchmark in which to measure your progress. Because if you say you're going to do 12 to 15, and say for instance you only do 9, then what you do is you document why you only did 9, and then you figure out how you can get better. But you have to have a benchmark in order to do it. Monitor all vacant and abandoned properties. Keep the street and alleys as clean as possible.
Do we have a street clean?
No.
Do we have a street sweep?
No. Now this is in 2005.
That blast be out there, you can't have to go down the streets and the potholes.
Exactly. And this is in 2005. Keep the street and alleys as clean as possible. I'm gonna go back to it. The city recognizes. So that means they understood, they're aware that these are the things that are going on, and this is a part of their strategic plan that they said will enhance those efforts. Implement the old City Hall restoration project. Offer community-friendly events. Implement public safety improvements, more visible police presence, installation of surveillance cameras, purchase of new equipment, zero tolerance for drug activity, etc. Increase landlord and tenant licensing training and inspection efforts, and audit existing businesses prior to license renewal. Now, I'm going to say, as a third ward alderman, I get calls and concerns specifically to that last thing about businesses, how businesses have not been keeping up their properties. Okay, some people complain about the treatment that they receive when they're in those businesses. What this suggests to me, all existing businesses prior to license renewal, is to make sure that that business is a good corporate citizen. Okay. And so, in doing so, it's not just going out looking around saying, oh, the lights are good, oh, you got your exit sign up, your windows on crack, and your floor looks okay. It's making sure that you have businesses that are good corporate citizens, that enhance our community. Once again, you're supposed to get what you pay for. Now, you're already paying them because you're doing business with them. So the least that they can do is be good to you, treat you with respect, keep up the neighborhood the way it's supposed to be kept, provide the proper lighting, and do all the things that, once again, you would see if you went to a business in South Holland, in Orland Park, in Tinley Park, in Lamont, in Lakina, in Homer Glen. And I'm just gonna just say this, I believe that we don't get it because we don't demand it. We don't get it because we don't demand it. So we say, well, it's closer, so I guess I'll go.
Yeah, that's right.
So because it's closer, so I guess I'll go. Then we end up there and we sustain that business. Okay? And so at the end of the day, they figure, well, if you're gonna keep buying from me, and you don't mind me giving you what I give you, then there's no reason for me to change.
They're like viewers.
Okay? So you really have to examine the businesses, but the businesses also, and mind you, I've talked to quite a few of the businesses. They don't mind being a good community partner. Some of them don't know how. They don't know what that really means. They don't know what that looks like. And that's why working with your government helps to bring that together so you guys can do that together. Okay, but you have to be able to work that. But these are some of the things that the city said that they were going to do. Now this was in 2005 again. So you make the judgment or determination as far as what you believed happened from 2005 to 2018. And you weigh that out for yourself, okay? That's the next one. So, part of the document was, if you see over in the upper right-hand corner, it's future land use. So basically, all of this area here, this purple area, that's all industrial area on the east side of the metro station. Where if anybody goes on 155th Street now, there's a lot of containers, truck containers that's sitting all up there. All of this is back on that side, Halsted being right along the area here. Okay. Here on the west side of the metro station was additional room for redevelopment. Using green spaces, existing properties. The brown area is new and additional townhomes and condos and apartment buildings and other multi-use dwellings. And then the yellow being single family. Now, go to the next slide, please. So, basically what Center for Neighborhood Technologies did was they basically gave pictures, and none of these pictures are in focus because I've been trying to get it from them, but just so you understand, they were willing to do a rendition, not from Center for Neighborhood Technologies, but the people who actually did this this case study, they were willing to do a rendition, but to tell you the truth, a rendition just at the beginning starts at $2,500, just for a picture. So when you go to those little places and they like have a little, they say shopping market coming, and then they have a picture of a shopping market, a market, and it's, it's a little cartoon type or, artist rendition. I never knew those things cost that much money. And that's like the basic one. If you want like a detailed one, you can get up to $10,000 for one. Sorry y'all, I love you, but that would not be a proper use and the highest best use of our funds. So basically, what they want to demonstrate is basically when you have older buildings, how those older buildings, which actually this is how Harvey used to look, okay, where there wasn't a vacancy anywhere along this road, okay, and the use of awnings made the city more congruent as far as its overall look, okay. As you begin to do that same thing, an older developed area with a new facade going all the way down those buildings, if you had buildings all working together, along with awnings, creating a more uniform and sharp look for the area. Even as far as how traffic is working with parking, how the parking comes and juts into the curb, so that people can have access to the areas that they want. Housing. Part of the plan was to create new housing. So as a part of that was to create basically mixed housing with brownstones, apartments, condos, things of that nature, going west of the old City Hall. And for those of you who don't know where does everyone know where the old City Hall is? Well, let me say to those people that may be watching, the old City Hall is right between Turlington and Center on the south side of the street on 154th. Okay, there's a building that really no one really uses. I don't know if anybody really pays attention to it, but that is our old City Hall from back in the 1890s, I think it was. Places that do have lights, the lighting is diminished because the trees are just overgrown. Okay, but and before you ask that question, you need a tree plan too. Because you need to know when you're going to get rid of and when you're going to replant. Okay, so that the trees aren't 30 feet high. But just as another note, and we also just need to grab them saplings when they're saplings. Those saplings should not become full-grown trees. I have saplings now that I've grown up with in the city of Harvey in people's backyards because they were saplings when I was a little boy and nobody just went and pulled the sapling. They actually let it stay there. And now that I'm 49 years old, it's a full-grown tree. Now when they call out somebody to tell them, we want you to cut this tree down, they first of all want the city to do it, and honestly, I'm with the city. That's your private property. That should not be the city's responsibility. Two, so long as you want to get it cut down, now you find out it costs you $1,500 to get it cut down. When you could have just grabbed a sapling, 49 years ago, and it would have been over. But having outlined green areas that are manicured, is a part of it as well. Next slide. And then, of course, using those green spaces, because we have so many spaces, vacant lots and things of the nature. Imagine if an area in the city of Harvey, where we right now have where an abandoned house used to be, and we took that green space, that space right there, and we turned it into one of those. Or you got two areas, and we turned it into one of those. Just beautified it, made it look good, made it enhance the city. No one wants to go by an area that's, once again, abandoned houses and dumping and high grasses and things of that nature. Nobody wants to walk past that every single day. But through planning, what you can do is, now you have what looks like maybe would have been 2 to 3 lots together. Now you have an area where the community can go. And once again, I'm gonna take that stroll back on past, because you leaving downtown, and now you pass by this area right here, and you know what you decide you want to do?
Sit down.
You want to sit down and chill out. Because wait, whether it was because you wanted to get off a break, sciatica break, or whatever, you wanted to give those things a break. So you decide you want to sit down a little bit, just relax a little bit, enjoy the day.
Got a water fountain this?
And, yes, and honestly, I gotta tell you. I moved my mother because I moved my mother out of Harvey because I wanted her to be able to do that. Okay? But my mother's my mother, but the other singers are my mother's too. And the other singers are my father's. And I personally watched you work and toil. I watched you raise your children. I watched you put in the time. I know that you have. I ran across your grass. Okay? I knocked over your garbage can probably at one time. But I watched you. And now, after you've done everything that you've done, you've put in your time, you've paid your dues. And after paying your dues and putting in your time, you paid your taxes, house is paid for. You was like, thank you, Lord. House is paid for. You've done everything you were supposed to do. You've done everything that society asked you to do. So now that you've done that, now you gotta be threatened with no streets, no lights, no curbs, no sidewalks. Now you gotta be threatened with hearing shots in the middle of the night. Now you gotta be threatened with hearing sirens. Now you gotta be threatened with the fact that you can't take a nightly stroll.
Right.
Okay? You're not going out at night. You're not. I have residents that if they leave, if they went to the store at 7 o'clock and they went and got some ice cream and they got home and it was dark and they made it back to the house and they left the ice cream in the car out there on the curb, the ice cream is going to melt. Because they're not going back from their front door to the 25 to 30 feet or whatever it is, or 40 feet, from their front door to the curb at night. No one should have to live like this. This is what we're trying to change. This is what we're fighting to change. And we need you to be able to see it. We need you to be along with it. Would you get the next slide for me, please? Now, the other ones, the other pictures were pictures that were provided by Center for Neighborhood Technology. That's why they were a little grainy, you really couldn't see too much, because I was trying to take something from a document and explore it. This is a real picture. Now, has anybody seen this picture before?
That in Harvey?
No, it's not. I think the next slide also, I think the next slide, no. Okay, go back. This particular picture is from Veterans Park in South Holland. Does anyone know where Veterans Park is? Okay. So just when you're heading down South Park, okay, and you get to, I forget the name of the street, but you're heading into Veterans Park. There's a row of homes right along the left-hand side or on the north side of the street. So, and the reason why I'm telling you this is because, first of all, if you want to take a drive over here and see what it looks like. See what folks who have comprehensive plans can do. Take a stroll through Veterans Park and see what that looks like. All of that was from a plan. Because they said, this is what we want to do, this is what we want to see, and we're going to come up with a plan to do it. So you have different types of housing all along that area where, once again, the people who live there can stroll out in the morning, pick up the newspaper if they want to, with their cup of coffee with their little robe on, you know what I'm saying? After they change their clothes and have their breakfast, watch the little gun smoke in the morning. Then they can go on out and they can go ahead and about the rest of their day. Even as far as public transportation, the public transportation is still nearby. And right down the street, guess what's right down the street from here? A Walgreens. Am I right?
Yeah.
A Walgreens. So now you can get your scripts, you can get all that extra stuff that you need. When authors bother you, you can go get your lead. Okay? You can do those things. Right down the street. Right in the same area. They've already shown us how it is done. We've known since 2005 how to do it. We were given the plan, we just did not execute the plan. Next slide, please. So, another part of the document. So it says the potential development. Downtown Harvey redevelopment potential. Townhouses on 154th Street, west of downtown. 10 to 15 per year. That's in the near and medium term, meaning near to medium future. Okay? Favorable financing and homeowner counseling is important. That was added there because, I've heard from a lot of residents and they say, well, people just move into the neighborhood, they don't know how to keep up houses. They don't know about homeowner responsibility. Favorable financing and homeowner counseling is important. Condominiums, downtown, 20 to 30 units, medium term in 3 to 5 years. So that means if we started this, just say hypothetically, in 2005, by 2008, we should have had some condos down there. We should have had some townhouses down there, okay? At least by 2008 to 2010, we should have had that. Retails and restaurants, 10,000 to 15,000 square feet. Near term, 5 years out, it could be higher with an anchor tenant. Does everyone know what an anchor tenant is? An anchor tenant is basically what brings other businesses to surround a business. So when you start a mall, for instance, when a mall is built, they would get a Macy's or a JCPenney's, some big store to act as your anchor. And then all of the other, Walmart does it, Target does it, Best Buy, what is the name of it? Menards does it. So the main stores are those stores if you were going down Halsted. But then all those extras, the Chipotle and the Taco Bell and the Kentucky Fried Chicken and the Starbucks, those are not anchors, okay? But the anchors are those bigger stores that help to bring in all those additional business. Because once they see that a Walmart is going in, everybody's trying to figure out how to do a store somewhere around it because they know that there's going to be traffic. Okay, so if we had an anchor tenant down there, then we would have a better opportunity of, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a big, like a Macy's or something like that, but like a Walgreens, because Walgreens is an anchor. That's why even on 147, we still have the Walgreens. When they built that strip mall, you got the Walgreens, the main, right there in the corner, and then you have the other stores that come along that. Office space downtown, 5,000 to 7,500 square feet, near term assumes no anchor tenant and could be higher with an anchor tenant. So just to give you an example, one of my visions with my office, one of my visions with my law office was to try to make my law office at least halfway decently successful. But it wasn't because I wanted to be the man. It's because I knew that if I could do something down there regarding the law and help to drive some dollars there, besides creating the jobs and the opportunities for people to see at Harvey, if other lawyers or other law firms saw that there was the ability to have a successful practice, then they would be more so inclined to do it as well. Okay, successful people do what other successful people do. Successful businesses do what other successful businesses do. So that was one of the things that I was trying to create the climate, because in my profession, when I told people that I was open and practice in the city of Harvey, they looked at me like I was insane. They still look at me like I'm insane. And they wonder, how are you going to make it? How are you going to make it work? Okay, this will be, I think, our 10th or 11th year in 2019 there. So I think at that point in time, others will start to weigh, because they'll be trying to figure out, how do you even stay there that long? And so they'll try to weigh it out. But having an anchor or being able to show others that there can be some degree of success is key. Now, we do have our anchors. They're just liquor store anchors. Okay, because if somebody opens a liquor store, we'll put another liquor store down in a heartbeat, because we know that that's going to work. Okay, but as we develop ourselves into a family-friendly, okay, child-friendly, senior-friendly city, we're going to have to make some changes. That does not mean eradicating all your vices. Okay, because I'm not here to preach to you. I'm not saying can't nobody have a liquor. We have to turn it back into a temperance town where you can have absolutely no smoking, no drinking, no gambling, or anything like that. But we have to re-examine what we do. We have to re-examine how we do it. I still hold and will continue to hold that you will not get family-friendly businesses up and down Halsted the way that you could if you had a strip club on Halsted. I'm not against the business. I'm not against those people. I don't know them. I just know that you're not going to get that, because no one wants to ride down the street with their 4-year-old and have their 4-year-old ask them questions of why that sign looks like that, or exactly what that name means. They don't. So at the end of the day, there's proper places for that as well. I just don't believe it's on on Halsted is where it's supposed to be, because we have millions and millions of dollars worth of development that can come up and down that street that is basically hampered because of that. So just to give an example, so that we don't get into a lot of lawsuits and this, that, and the other, as a mayor, I would work with them to try to find them somewhere else to go. Okay, I really would. I'm not against business. I'm pro-business, actually, because pro-businesses creates the jobs that we need. Pro-businesses help to eliminate the taxes, because they pay the taxes so that our residential tax bill can go down. Okay, so I'm pro-business, and I'm a businessman myself, so I'm pro-business. But at the same time, I'm also pro-resident. And we got to figure out a way to enhance those businesses so that they're paying more taxes, and at the same time bringing that overall tax liability down on the resident, and at the same time while they're being good corporate citizens, because they have to be good corporate citizens. So I would work with them to do that, but I still don't believe that we'll be able to develop this 159th to 175th corridor the way we need to, if we want to make it family friendly. If we want to make it into Vegas, then we're on a good start. Would you? So I'm going to wrap it up, and this will be the part one of me. But some of the other things that they recommended that we could do, because then the other thing was, okay, you have all these grandiose ideas. How are you going to pay for it? Let's be real. So, at 2005, they said that we could use city resources, general fund sources. Well, we know now that we really don't have that general fund source anymore that we used to have. But that's really a good thing, I think, that we don't have it the same way, because it decreases the amount of frivolous spending in the city. Tax increment financing, business improvement districts. These are all things that can be done and developed. For instance, we don't have a tax incremental financing in the downtown area, so we need to create that. But also, before we create the TIF district, we also need to create rules on how we're going to handle the money that goes into the TIF district. It makes no sense to have the TIF district and then the city just goes and raids the money that's in the district to use it for something else. We have to have rules, and we have to follow those rules, and we have to hold ourselves accountable. Okay? Special service areas, federal and state resources. This is why relationships are important. Because if you can't talk to your federal legislators and your legislators and your state legislators, they're bringing dollars back to their communities every week, every month, every year. We need to make sure that we can pick up the phone and make a phone call and say, hey, this is what we're trying to do. We need your assistance, legislator so-and-so, congressperson so-and-so. We need to be able to do that. And that's where relationships matter. We cannot just be an isolated community thinking that we're going to do it all by ourselves. Safe, accountable, flexible, efficient Transportation Equity Act, that was one of the things. The Transportation Enhancement Program, congestion mitigation and air quality improvement programs as well. Now, these things take grant writers, okay, qualified grant writers to come in. Qualified, experienced grant writers to come and to help us get some of the grants that we need. It does not take my cousin, it does not take my friend, and I'm going to say that. Okay, I know I said I'm going to try to keep a little bit out of it, but that seems to be the way that it goes. It does not take my cousin, it does not take my friend, it does not take anybody related to me at all, unless I can demonstrate to you that they have 35 years of grant writing and they wrote the grant for the White House and built it. Okay, then maybe you'll be like, well, yeah, that might still be a good idea. But other than that, no. No. But we got to get that. Next slide, please. Other sources: Surface Transportation Program, Operation Green Light and access to transit, of course, Metro, the community development block grants, and private resources through public-private partnerships are some of the things that give us the resources to do it. Now, in the document itself, they outlay in detail a little bit more, and we'll be going into that a little bit later. But those are some of the funding sources that we can use to actually pay for what we need, because we don't want to do this on the backs of the taxpayer. I mean, that's just no good. Because all of a sudden, now while you sashaying from your house downtown to the Metro, you cussing at me. Oh, my car didn't know what he was talking about. I got these little high taxes. So you don't want that, and I don't want that. So we have to find those alternative sources. Participants, some of the participants in this, major local institutions such as Ingalls Hospital, which is now University of Chicago, large industrial employers, local civic and social service organizations, institutions, and investors with connections to Harvey, Thornton Township, and Thornton Township is a good relationship to have, regardless of what somebody wants to say about its supervisor.
Okay.
Yes, because I want to state that one too. I don't understand what the issue is. Do you pay taxes to Thornton Township? Yes, you do. So when Thornton Township has something to offer, I believe you should go and get it. Okay? And as long as I pay taxes to them, I'm going to get it. Okay? So if somebody else wants to sit at home and just watch their money go down the drain, they can do that. And as far as I'm concerned, I wouldn't care if it was Zuccarelli, I wouldn't care if it was Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck. It doesn't make any difference to me who the supervisor is. What makes a difference to me is I pay taxes to that organization and I want some of that back. So that's really my concern. Thornton Township High School, another participant. Northeastern Illinois Planning Commission. Then you got, of course, a lot of acronyms: IDOT, LISC, IEPA, IDSA, IHDA, IHPA, and of course, Canadian National Railroad. That might be it. Good. Now, can you take me back? I know that's going to be like, there you go. Now, this is as blurry as it gets. Okay, I can't see it, so I don't know if you can. But in here, and I can kind of tell what it says because I've read it so many times. But in here, yeah, so here's the thing. So because we have our City of Harvey people up here, okay, these were our community, mostly community people, some businesses: John Bradley, Fiona Dennis, Ruby Donahue, Miranda Dunn, Charles Given, Herman Head, Michael Hicks from Ingalls Family Care Center, Alan Mahone, Gregory Allen Manning from the Real Estate Tax Institute, Frederick Mitchell from HACOM, Torrance Moore, and so many of you know these people, and that's the reason why I'm reading this off. The South Community Development Project, Vijay Patel from Allied Tube and Conduit, Andrea Paxton Milton, she's still around. I think she's the...
What is assistant mayor?
Who?
What they treat them down the
Oh, assistant to the mayor.
I ain't never heard of assistant mayor.
Well, it says assistant to the mayor, so it's whatever they want it to be. Look, we don't even have to worry about that anymore, because whether you know it or not, come February 26, 2019, we don't have to worry about that. We have term limits now. They can't serve anymore. So what we really want to focus on is what do we want Harvey to look like in the future. That's what we want to focus on. What do we want it to look like in the future? Because we've gotten rid of the rest of that nonsense. We know what we want to do, and that's why we're looking at the solutions now. Fifth Third Bank, Rapid Incorporated, Sandborg Development. The Reverend Sims was even involved in it. Outreach Developers, Marlene Trivial, Milestone Realty. But also others that were involved was RTA, Metro, Pace, HNTB. So you had all these different organizations, all these different businesses that signed off and was in support of this particular plan. I've been able to, even though it's 13 years later now, I've been able to reach out to a lot of those partners. Some of those partners are no longer with us, but the businesses specifically, I've definitely been able to reach out to. And actually, some of the participants, like I said, some of them are in this room, some of them still live in Harvey, and they can tell you about exactly what happened, but they're all on board because they're all looking forward to reviewing, okay, and improving the plan because it's been 13 years. So there's been some slight changes and making it into a viable plan that we can move forward. So, I go back. The City of Harvey has not adopted a comprehensive plan since 1968. Okay? In 2005, we got information and instruction and direction and guidance from professionals, from people who do it all over the United States. that we have successful plans that have been implemented in cities around us. And we had a choice to do it in 2005, and we didn't do it. So think how much further along we could be if we had started in 2005 and started doing the work. I'm not going to make an assumption about anybody's motivation for why they did or did not do. What I want you to understand is what was available to you at the time that wasn't done. Okay? And so, as a result, did I do that? A little clicker? These clickers, boy, it's something else, ain't it? So, as a result, when you're asking the questions, you can hear whatever it is that you want to hear. They can tell you whatever it is they want to tell you. For those who are on Facebook, you can, cause some people, I found some of my seniors go on Facebook and they don't ever comment. They just look. You want to see what's going on. I put a comment up the other day, and the comment was basically in response to political comments on Facebook and elsewhere. The only thing I said was one word: read. Read. Don't listen to the hype. Don't listen to the madness. Okay. Try if you can to stay out of the circus and read. Everything that I presented to you today was not, let's put it this way, other than the ands, the buts, the ors, the little pimping across the screen. 98% of what I presented to you today, those were not my words. Those were the words of others. So I know that I'm going to get pushback from this. And I'm pretty sure there'll be a PowerPoint presentation at the next City Council meeting. But the bottom line is, at the end of the day, these are not my words. These are the words of the professionals that came in to the city of Harvey that showed this administration how to do it. Okay? They showed them the way to do it. They showed them how to get the funding to do it. Okay, and they got other members of our community to participate to show how it can be done. And all of them signed off on it and said, sounds good to me. So these are not my words. You have to understand, I believe that I'm that guy because I have that political will to do it. I've created the network. I've created the relationships. I'm actually doing the reading that I want you to do because I want you to be informed. I want you to know exactly what's going on. I want when you go into that booth, I want you to be able to cast your ballot and know why you're casting it. Not because I don't like him, or I don't like her. Or he's a friend of mine, and she's a friend of mine. Because the thing about it is, and I'm going to give me preaching. I just want to ask you this real quick. When the water bills went up, did any of your water bills go down because you were friends with someone?
No.
When the water bills went up, did your friends in the city come and say to you, I'll pay your whole bill for you?
No. Got no friends.
Because if they did, and I'm only saying that, it may sound like I'm being facetious, but the simple fact is, if that is what happened, I'd say that's what you need to hang on to. Okay? Because if you got streets, lights, curbs, sidewalks, if your water bill is lower, if your taxes are lower, if you have jobs in the community, if you have all the things that you want, then stay where you are. But if you're going to get something different from what you got, you've got to do something different from what you did. Okay. Wow. And that's basically how it works. But I haven't seen anyone that has had their water bill paid for them. Shameless plug. I paid water bills every month. It was online. We have a website called HarveyWaterbill.com. Okay. Some of the people were able to get it. Actually, it's a young lady, so if you're watching this, and I'm not gonna say your name, but you know who you are, you still have not picked up your $100. You need to get in touch with me. I did $100 every month towards somebody's water bill every single month to help pay their water bill. So that if your water bill ended up just being in the 50s or 60s, that means you had 40 left. You can apply that towards your next bill and overpay and have a credit, or you can do whatever you want to do with that $40. But the bottom line is, I personally, and we have a website around it, harveywaterbill.com, and we were paying water bills $100 every single month.
Just for one person.
Yes. Yeah, just one person. Just one person a month now. We ain't trying to break it. So at the end of the day, you know, and I just put that in there because I didn't see anybody else paying the water bills. I voted against the water bill increase. I voted against it. And then even when I voted against it, when it took effect, I started paying other people's water bills. The people who voted in favor to improve it did absolutely nothing except attack me. Attack Joe. Attack Shirley. Attack Lamont Brown. That's what happened. But they didn't pay the bills. Just something to think about. But if what you have right now is absolutely wonderful, you keep what you got. But if you want something different, if you want to see a change, because we've been working toward that change, we have term limits now. My office, I created the term limits law.
Yes, you did.
So, when we were sick and tired of people holding our city hostage, okay? When we were sick and tired of seeing these same politicians, because I've only been here for 3.5 years. So you can't tell me that Harvey got to look the way that it looks in 3.5 years because I came here all of a sudden, okay? When the water bills weren't being paid since 2014. I got in 2015, okay? Actually, no, it's 2012, okay? I got into 2015. The taxes was high way before 2015. That tree that was a sapling that grew up and was overgrown and blocking the lights way before I got in office. Okay. But you had people who came and told you how to fix it, showed you how to fix it. So you got to figure out if you want something different. I'm hoping that person will be me. I'm on my bended knee. But only because of the simple fact that I want your lives to be better. I have to think this. I want to thank you very much for listening. First of all, if there's any questions, I'm going to take any questions. I want to thank you very much for listening. I would love for you to come back next week because there's more and more details. What was that? Every Saturday.
From 10 to 12.
10 to 12. We have to talk about jobs. Because everything, and just as a side note, everything that we just went over, all of that had an overlay of jobs. Whether it was the jobs to actually putting it together, whether it was the jobs to demolishing the properties, whether it was the jobs to rebuilding the properties, whether it was the jobs to when the businesses are actually developed there, all jobs. All jobs. So all that screams there. What we have to do is we have to be in front of it rather than being behind it. Usually majority of the time, and why people get, I would say, I was having this conversation yesterday, people get upset about gentrification, which we don't really have to worry about gentrification. Believe you me, it'll be another 50 years, I believe, before that even happens. But we would love, that's a high-class problem that we would love to have to deal with. Seeing that we can't even get streets, lights, curbs, and sidewalks, you know, that's a whole nother issue. But that's a tactic that is used to scare you, to make it seem like you're about to lose something. Okay. You don't have to lose anything here. All you got to do is be in front of it. That's one of the issues with gentrification. People complain about gentrification because they were on the back end. When the deals were already made, and the money was already spent, then it seems like the community is on the back end and they're never able to take advantage of the redevelopment of their community. We want to do this a little differently. We already know what we're supposed to be doing because we got blueprints to do it. I'm going to go over the blueprints with you week after week. We know how to get it done. So now all we have to do is line ourselves up and position ourselves for the opportunity. So when the opportunity comes, we're there with bushel baskets waiting to get. When the construction starts, and you know, and I got a cousin or a friend, you know, that have a felony, I need to tell him, hey, look, you need to go, and you need to take the training course, so we can have you out there turning the little sign that says slow and stop. You gotta go do some training for it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But you can at least go do it. So now, we know this construction is coming. We know what we're getting ready to do. We already have the plan. So tell you what, yeah, you've been talking about how you don't have any opportunities. Because don't nobody want to hire you, and don't nobody want to do this, and don't nobody want to do that, but you just want to take care of your family. So fine, there's a training course. The training course takes place on this particular day. Be there. So you can learn how to take the sign and turn it from stop to slow. So when the hiring comes, we can hire you. When the building comes, we can make sure that you're on that crew. Okay? We can be in front of it. We have the opportunity to shape our own destiny. We just have to get about the business of doing it. I'm hoping that you will join me. I'm hoping that you will join the rest of our team. For those who were here in the beginning, you met Rosa Arambula, who will be our first Hispanic clerk. She's absolutely fantastic. George Payton, who will be our treasurer. He's an actual accountant, so he actually deals with those types of things, and he's done forensic audits and things of those nature. Mr. Irvin, who's over here, is going to be running for the 3rd ward. Shirley Drewinski, the 1st ward alderwoman, is on our team. Kobe Chapman is going to be our 2nd ward alderwoman. We're adding Mr. Sutton, Larry Sutton, for the 5th ward. Melville King, of course, the sign in the back. He will be a part of the 6th ward. And we're going to take this, and the thing about it is, what's really good about that is you have a group of people that are working together. No more that bickering and all that stuff that you see. People who have the similar philosophies, not exactly the same. Am I right, Mr. Irvin? We don't always see eye to eye, do we?
No, but 99% of the time we do.
But we find a way to work it out, don't we?
That's right.
We find a way to work it out. And that's the key. You don't have to agree with people. You just got to be able to have a conversation and find ways to work it out. So I'm hoping that you will join what we're trying to do. I'm really excited about it. I'm excited about you. I'm excited about what the future of Harvey looks like. So thank you very much, and vote Christopher Clark for mayor.